All right. Hey, y'all. Good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you all are tuning from in the world. This is Tonetta, your professional development coach. And I want to say welcome y'all to, thank y'all for being here and welcome, of course, to this broadcast. This broadcast, of course, is our weekly success coaching call. This one is about goals and vision. No, I'm not going to go over the entire how to set goals, that kind of thing. That will be in a different video just to let you know. But today is just talking about in simple, just simple areas that you can look at and think about that you may want to create goals in and create a vision in. I have 7 different areas, but first off, I just want to make sure that you all know something what's going on as well, because I'm live streaming here on Facebook. And then I'm also live streaming on my phone, of course, on Instagram as well. So, of course, I'm in both places just in case you see me looking back and forth and looking at this way, looking at that way, that kind of thing. I'm here with both of you just so I can this is my first time doing this, but I definitely want to make sure that from here on out that I can record with both of you all on here. I guess I put it that way, so that no one on Instagram is missing anything and no one on Facebook is missing anything whenever I am going live. So, with that, like I said, I definitely want to talk to y'all about goals and vision. This is actually my first video with y'all, success call with y'all for this year, because I had been sick the first few weeks, I guess first few Sundays of the year. So I couldn't do the success call, but I'm back in full effect, making sure that y'all, of course, getting the weekly success calls every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm here in St. Louis, so it's Central Standard Time. So like I said, I definitely hope that you all join me. And if you know of any family, friends, coworkers, that kind of thing that you have in your life that may want to be on the success call to listen to the information here, definitely make sure that you invite them. So first off, I got my hand up one. But first off, the importance of course, creating a vision for ourselves. We have to know at some point that if we don't create any vision for ourselves or whatever areas we want to create the vision in, we're not going to have any success in that area. Success, of course, is created by us. I know I talked a lot in December about the laws of life. I hope that you all caught some of those videos. If not, just go back and check them out on whichever platform you're on. But like I said, the laws of life, I went over, of course, the law of karma, cause and effect, and sowing and reaping, and all those kind of things. We have to know that at some point, that if you're not putting anything into the goals that you want, you're not going to have that success in that area. I know that. I'm sure you all know that to a certain extent. You all should know that as well. And like I said, that's why I talked in December the whole month about the laws of life. You have to get that down before you can move forward with anything, before you can move forward with the vision. You have to know that whatever you are planning on doing, if you're not even looking at those laws of life and the cause and effect, and knowing that if you don't put out anything, you don't get back anything, then you have to, of course, like I said, definitely start there. We have to know that the vision is greatly important for us to move forward, y'all. We have to have some goals set. It ain't got to be goals, 1,000 goals about this and that, this and all these millions of things. Just a few different areas. Like I said, I'm going to talk to you about those areas today, and it's 7 areas. But like I said, definitely you have to know that in order for you to move ahead in life, in any area of your life, you have to make sure that you have some type of vision for the area and some type of goal, at least 1, 2, 3 goals set in the area in order for you to move forward with that, y'all. Just keep that in mind. And while I'm talking about this, I definitely want to let y'all know, because I know it says it in the description on Facebook, Instagram, y'all have it as well. But I was just letting y'all know that with me doing these videos, talking about this information to you all, of course, it's for you all. Yes, definitely it's for you all. But of course, it's for me as well. I'm doing the work as well. And I have been doing the work. And like I said, I'm doing the work, and of course, making sure that you all see the work being taking place. I guess I put it that way as well. And like I said, you will definitely see more of that in, I guess, to come. I guess I'd say that. But like I said, definitely just know that when I'm talking to you all about something, I'm also talking to myself either as a reminder or something that I need to get my ass up and do. I guess I put it that way. So like I said, I definitely want to make sure that you all knew that as well. And I want to read y'all this scripture. It's Proverbs 29:18, and it says from the King James Bible. So I guess that's the one that this correlates to. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Meaning that, of course, if you don't have any kind of vision for your life, of course, you're dying day by day. Well, we're all dying physically, but I mean dying internally, dying emotionally, dying mentally, without having a vision for your life or whatever it is that you want. I know we all get, of course, I'm a social worker. I think I've told y'all that a lot of times, that I'm a social worker. So that's who I'm speaking to. Of course, our professionals out here, our professionals like me, our social workers, our teachers, our psychologists, our state and federal workers and all those types of people, those professionals who, of course, have been, that's why it's called the professional development. Well, what I'm saying, I'm the professional development coach. Like I said, we all get wrapped up, of course, in our jobs and that kind of thing. We have professional development on the job, which is only talking about that job and not about how you can get your own life together. And that's what I'm here for. Like I said, all the things that I've been teaching, all the things that I've been talking about, that kind of thing, I had to make sure that I created the vision for the audience that I wanted as well. Like I said, I had to have a goal in that area. The same thing I'm telling y'all. Like I said, this is just about the career business, and that's actually number one, but it's about the career business. But like I said, I definitely had to create me a goal in that area because I know I can talk to people all day long, but I have to make sure that I'm focusing on a specific group of people. And I know professionals, I guess I put it that way. I know those people. I know how, of course, you get in, going in, I guess, living day to day, doing the same thing in and out. Of course, going to work, you're on autopilot, trying to figure out what in the world are you going to do with your life because you're tired of doing what you're doing. It's just the same old mundane things day in, day out. And at some point, like I said, I had to realize that I had to stop it as well. And like I said, I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm still working as a full-time social worker, but my goal is to, of course, transition on out of that into my coaching business. And like I said, you don't have to have a goal to transition out of your job. I am not saying that, so please don't get it twisted. What I'm talking about is figuring out who you are professionally and personally. Of course, you know what the professional development, well, like I said, what they teach you at work. But at some point, you have to figure out who you are as a person, the professional and personal development to figure out who you are as a person and have to live the best life possible for yourself. Like I said, and everything else, of course, will flow after that. Most jobs may not understand that or care about that. I don't know. Well, I'm going to say I don't know, but I do know. Some of them just don't care. Some of them is more, they're all focused on their mission, their vision, what kind of goals they want for their business and what they want to accomplish. And at some point, if you're wanting to do something different with your life, but you don't know how, like I said, I'm definitely the coach for you. I'm here to talk to you about how to do something different with your life, not just finding another job. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about finding out who you are and what you love to do, what you want to do, and what you see in your future, those kind of things. Like I said, that's why I'm here. So I definitely want to make sure that, like I said, when I'm talking to y'all about these things, any post that you see, I'm talking to myself as well, not just y'all, because like I said, I have to be reminded of a lot of these things as well and making sure that I'm staying on the right track as well. I know it's for y'all, of course, too, but like I said, for me, I'm still growing. Everybody still grows. Like I said, that's why I posted that post, I think it was on yesterday, about discipline and growth and mastery and all that kind of stuff. At every stage in life, we all are growing, y'all. We still are growing. I'm 45 years old. We'll be 46 in September. I'm still growing. I'm not a perfect person, and neither are you. Nobody's a perfect person. Everybody is growing every stage of their life and every day of their life. But at some point, we do, of course, master some things. We master how to, of course, keep that trigger to I guess keep those triggers down and keep those triggers out of our relationships or whatever it is. Like I said, at some point, we master how to do certain things. And like I said, that's what I'm here to teach you and to, of course, inspire you to do and, of course, empower you to take it upon yourself to, of course, coach yourself with these things. Yes, I'm here to tell you, of course, some tips and tools and strategies and that kind of thing. But it's, of course, you have to be the one to, of course, take it upon yourself to work those things out. And of course, if you can't do it on your own and you need me as a coach, definitely reach out to me to let me know. We can go ahead and see if we can work together. But like I said, that's definitely what I'm looking. What I'm focusing on here, I guess, as far as coaching goes and that kind of thing now at this time, just to let you all know. So nobody will be like, what's going on? I'll keep reminding you all that kind of thing as we go along, just to make sure that you all know who this information is for. Of course, it could be for anybody, but I do want to focus on specific people. Like I said, those professionals out there who have been on autopilot, who are ready to get the hell off autopilot and start living their life, the best life that they can live. So, and figure out who they are in the process. So with that, let me go ahead and get on to the goals and visions. Because like I said, I'll talk here all day on the success call about what's going on, what's happening, that kind of thing. But I want to make sure that you all understand that goals and vision for your life in 7 specific areas are very important. So let me go ahead and talk to y'all about the first area. And I know I've already been talking about career and business and that kind of thing already. But of course, having goals set up, number one, having goals set up in your career, or if you're trying to start a business or trying to start a side hustle, whatever it is that you're doing in those areas, we all know that we have to have some type of income to, of course, pay for the lifestyle that we want. Whether it's just paying your basic rent, your utilities, that kind of thing, or you want to take trips, whatever it is you want to do, we all have to have an income in order to do that. So whatever kind of career you have for your business, for yourself, like I said, I'm a social worker. So some people could be here teachers or other social workers as well, or you could be a therapist, or you could be, I don't know, a federal estate worker, or you can be whoever you are working as far as a job. That's up to you. And of course, for those business owners who are here listening as well, because I know some people, of course, like me, social worker with the side business and coaching, that kind of thing. I know I'm not the only one that I'm talking to when I'm saying these things that may have a side business, a side hustle that you may want to turn into your full-time gig. Like I said, I understand that we all have different areas in life that we want to do when it comes to our career and it comes to business. Whatever it is for you, that's unique to you. But just keep in mind, you have to have some type of goal set in that area. I don't care if you're working in the corporate offices and you're wanting to make $100,000 a year in the job that you're in. So you're trying to, of course, create that type of environment for yourself and for your employer, and to let them know that you're, of course, important in that area and that you're going to ask for a raise or whatever it is that you're doing. Or if you're somebody like me, like I said, a social worker, teacher, state worker, that kind of thing, you're trying to get another side hustle to, of course, create that extra stream of income for yourself and for your household. Or whether you actually have a full-fledged business that you're running full-time, making the money, making the income to, of course, sustain yourself. No matter what the goal is, like I said, you just have to have some type of goal and vision for the area. Of course, I know there's some folks out there who don't do anything as far as business work, just lay up, do whatever. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to those people who want something out of their life. And like I said, and we know that career in business, in that arena, number one, we have to, of course, create a vision and a goal for that arena. Like I said before, if you're in your job, you're, of course, on autopilot, that kind of thing. I've been there, and I like I said, I had to dig my way up out of that autopilot mode, I guess I put it that way. The same thing as survival mode. When we're talking about our feelings, our triggers and all that kind of thing, trying to get through life and day by day. It's the same thing when you're working and when you're doing your business. Sometimes you just get in on autopilot, and it's hard to figure out sometimes where you got lost at in that process. Yes, it's fine and dandy to, of course, make sure that we have that professional development around whatever kind of business or career that we have, so that we can consistently grow in that area. Let me get some water, y'all. All right, y'all. But of course, we do have to know that when it comes to our business, our careers, if we're not whole, that business and the career is not going to be whole either. We're going to have some issues in moving forward, trying to ask for what we want and trying to get what we want in that business and in that career, until we are, of course, whole inside. And like I said, that's the professional development that I'm bringing to you all. Working on ourselves, our inner us, I guess I put it that way, being the best person that you can be and living the best life that you can live. And of course, like I said, that will trickle into your career, into your business. I hope that, I know that because I've been going through the motions, but I'm telling y'all today that that's what's going to occur here. I guess I put it that way. And that's what I want to see out of y'all as well. So like I said, that's one of the things that you can, of course, think about moving forward, as far as making sure that you're setting goals, envision in your career and in business. Like I said, if you definitely want to work with me, you need a coach, somebody to, of course, help you figure out what it is that you're wanting in any of these areas. Make sure that you're reaching out to your girl and let me know. Like I said, that's definitely what I'm here for. Number two, finances. I know I talked a little bit about finances, and just let me say this. We all know that life just does not entail us working all the time. Does not, whether it's in a business or your career, whatever it is that you're doing. Life has all different kind of aspects. We have to have fun at some point. We have to learn how to live our life, go out and do things we want, create families, all these types of things. Our life has all types of things that we can do, of course. It's a wide array of things. And these 7 areas, like I said, is just 7 areas that you can start off with. But you can always set goals in other areas as well. You don't have to stop here. But these are the main things that I want y'all to think about, like I said, moving forward, especially with this month of January, the month of vision, as I call it. We have to start somewhere. This is somewhere that y'all can start, y'all. Just keep that in mind. So number 2, like I said, this is talking about finances. Like I just said, we all have to have some type of income coming into our households, some type of money coming into our households so we can live a lifestyle of some type, whether it's just paying our rent, just the basics, paying our rent, making sure that we have our food on the table, all that kind of stuff. I understand that. I've been there. I'm still doing that at this present point. But like I said, we all have to have some type of income coming in, and you have to set those goals for yourself, what you want your finances to be. You have to think about, of course, there's a lot of arenas in this finances as far as credit, your income coming in, your income going out, what you're looking to do with your income, your budgeting, all those types of things. We have to look at those things, John, when we talk about this next area of life, which is finances. We just can't go through life all willy-nilly and don't know what the hell we're spending and don't know what we're out here bringing in. Because if you're bringing in too much, spending too much, and you're not even bringing in enough money to, of course, cover those expenses, you're going to be broke and you're going to be in the hole trying to figure out how to rob Peter to pay Paul. We have to get, at some point, we have to realize that we cannot keep doing that, y'all. At some point, you realize that you cannot keep doing that. Yes, it's fine and dandy in the beginning, possibly, if that's how you want to live your life. But at some point, I'm 45 years old. I know a lot of y'all are probably seasoned too, 30s and 40s and 50s and probably older than that. But at some point, we have to realize that we have to set a goal for our finances, y'all. Oh, goodness gracious, I'm sorry. But we have to set a goal for our finances. Like I said, that's something that all of us have to do at some point, especially if you want to have success in that area. If you're out here talking about you want to be $1 million business and you want to create this side business that's going to create the income, well, I'll start there. If you're looking to, of course, create the income create a side business to, of course, quit your full-time job, you have to know how much money that is a month, at least have that business make that amount of money per month consistently, at least for 6 months or more. Like I said, we have to start somewhere, and we have to start there. That's where we have to start at, y'all. Like I said, you have to figure out what type of financial status, what type of finances you want, and then go after those things. Like I said, it does include, of course, a lot of other things when it comes to credit. So I'm actually on my bed, so I got to move. But like I said, when it comes to our credit and that kind of thing, not just credit, but our credit, how we want to do our credit, what kind of budget we have to make for our household, we have to know all those things before you can, of course, start talking about your finances and start getting your finances in order. Like I said, I know I can't go over all that stuff today because I actually used to teach financial literacy and that kind of thing back in the day. Like I said, I could definitely teach more about that somewhere along the line, but it won't be today. But just know that at some point, if you're wanting a goal about your finances in your life, you have to create that goal. You have to create that vision for what you want. If it's $10,000 a month in your part-time business so that you can't quit your full-time job, if that's what you want, since I'm talking to the professionals out there, like I said, definitely make sure that you're setting that vision and setting that goal. Like I said, it's not hard to do. Just write it down on a piece of paper and go ahead and get started, y'all. And I'll talk about some ways that you can get started simply just to get started and go ahead and start working on some area of your life before we get off this video. Number 3, like I said, education. At some point, yes, we're all professionals here, that kind of thing as well. But just know that education does not stop because you've completed college. Education does not stop because you've gotten a job or started a business. At every stage in our life, we have to realize that we have to educate ourselves to be better than we were yesterday, not to compete with people. Oh, I'm going to be better than Susan because she's my coworker and I can't stand her and she gets on my nerve. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being better than you are yesterday, today. Not competing with nobody else but yourself. That's all I'm talking about. And like I said, at some point we have to realize that our education does not stop because we finished a certificate or we finished a degree or we got a job and we read through a manual and all these kind of things. Our education does not stop. Yes, we can have, like I said before, professional development coach. That's who I am. We can have professional development all day long around a business. I guess if it's your own business, trying to figure out how to do ads and how to, of course, find your target audience, all those kind of things. We can have professional development all day long about how to be the perfect employee and or the so-called perfect employee, and of course work that job and create their vision and work their vision or mission, whatever it is that you're doing and wherever your duties are. Yes, we can have professional development all day long with that. But at some point you have to realize that the education I'm talking about is education for yourself to be the best person that you can be and to figure out who the hell you are. Somewhere along the line, like I said, when we're all in autopilot mode, we're going back and forth, going through the motions day in, day out. And our jobs and our businesses, like I said, that's definitely mundane. Yes, we all know that, but it has to happen if you want some type of lifestyle, I guess I put it that way. But we don't have to sit there and be unhappy in that lifestyle. I guess I put it that way. I have been there. I know how that feels. Trust me, I've been there. And like I said, at some point, we have to realize that the education that we need, yes, while we have professional development at work, it may not even be that professional development. It may be that professional development that we need to develop ourselves. We have to figure out who we are before we can best actually even what we even want and what we even desire, and to figure those things out. We have to know who we are, y'all. And like I said, the education around figuring out who you are, learning about who you are, thinking about the things that may inspire you, thinking about the things that may empower you, thinking about the things that may, of course, cause triggers within, that you get upset or get offended easily, thinking about the relationships that you want. All those types of things take education. It's not going to just happen because you said, I want to find this job, or I want this relationship, or I want this, whatever it is. You have to educate yourself in those areas. Self-awareness is the best awareness that any of us can have, y'all. Just keep that in mind. And like I said, the education does not stop because you got your degree, got your certificate, or got your job and you read the manuals. Education does not stop there. That's education outside of yourself, and that's fine and dandy. The education I'm talking about is the education to help you figure out who you are to become the person that you know that you can be. That's what I'm talking about, and to live your best life possible, whatever life that is for you. So like I said, that's the education. Number 4, the area that you can, of course, focus on as well. Oh, before I even move to number 4, education, for those out there who may want to, of course, continue on in school and do all these things. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure that you are, of course, advancing yourself however you want to advance yourself. If you're, of course, looking to become a coach, or you're looking to become a social worker, or you're looking to go into teaching, or you want to be a college professor, or whatever it is, you have to know that there will take some education behind that as well. I know the inner you is what I was just talking about, but just keep in mind that career in business, if that's important to you, of course, we all have to have that goal. And this is something that you want to do. Make sure that you're looking at how to advance yourself in life as well, to create those extra incomes for yourself, or to create some more income for yourself. That's important as well. I did not say that, but that's definitely important as well. So number 4, going on to the relationships. I know, of course, I was doing relationship coaching just last year, actually, but I know that I had to, of course, focus on the person themselves and not just the relationship, because it all starts with us. But I know that, and it's saying that, but I know that we all want good relationships and happy relationships and whole and healthy relationships and all these kind of things. Yes, that's the area that you should focus on as well, if that's something that you want. And I'm not talking about just romantic, you want a woman or a man or a partner. I'm talking about with your kids, with your family, with your coworkers, with your friends. I'm talking about all those things, not just in one area of romance. We all know that in order for us to be in life and to grow in life and to get along with folks in this life, is not going to just be for romantic relationships. We have all types of relationships out there, career and business as well. We have all types of relationships out there. But like I said, at some point you have, if you're wanting to have good relationships with your kids or with your family or with your partner, or you want a partner or whatever it is, you have to set goals for the area, y'all. What vision do you have for the area? If you're wanting to get married, is that something that you set? Is that the goal that you wrote down so that you can start? I mean, is that the vision and the goal that you wrote down so that you can start writing down small tasks that you need to do? I have to start dating first. I got to find a partner first, all that kind of stuff in order to even be married. I mean, you have to go, like I said, through the motions. But like I said, if that's something important to you, or if developing that relationship with your kids is important, make sure that you're writing that down as your vision and as your goals. Like I said, creating that good bond with you and your kids and your family, that's something that is priceless. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. So like I said, we have to get more serious about figuring out what vision we want to see in these areas and creating the goals around that, y'all. That was relationships. Number 5, health and fitness. I know I've been saying the last several months, I've been saying it for years now, but our health is our wealth. If you are not healthy within, how are you going to help somebody else, and how are you going to be on this earth long enough to help the kids and whoever else you want to help? I guess help. Like I said, you have to be healthy and whole within. This is talking about health and fitness. Illnesses are what you eat every day, how you take care of your body, whether you exercise every day. That has to be an area that we have to focus on, y'all. You can't be walking around here talking about you want to be the best person for your kids, and your kids are toddlers, but you're 400 or 500. I'm not saying anything about anybody their weight, but I am going to say that 400 or 500 pounds, you're out of breath, and you can't even keep up with your kids, or you're smoking cigarettes and you're drinking, doing all this stuff, and you can't even keep up with playing with your kids and going out with your kids. Any of those things, we have to keep that in mind. Our health is our wealth. You're talking about going to work and creating a business, doing all this stuff, but you out of breath, you don't feel well, you have stress headaches, you don't know how to relax, you don't know how to meditate. All those things will definitely affect you. We have to realize that the foods that we eat and the things that we ingest into our body, of course, create the whole entire environment for us. Y'all, at some point, we have to realize our health is our wealth. If you're planning on being on this earth and having all these goals set, if you're not healthy, you're just eating trash food all day long, then how long do you think you're going to be here before you have a stroke or a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or something along those lines? We have to think about those things. And like I said, the areas of health and fitness, we definitely, I know a lot of us, including myself, have to get more consistent and make some goals and visions in that area, y'all. My vision is to, of course, have a healthy body, inner body, be fit, that kind of thing as well. That is my vision and my goals for that area. And like I said, I'm sure a lot of folks are too. But at some point, the goals that you set for that vision to be healthy, you have to realize that you have to stick with those things. And not just set those goals to fit into a wedding dress or to fit into a tuxedo or whatever it is. Those goals that you set in any of these areas are goals that you want to set because you want to see this happen in your life, not for the short term, but for the long term. So keep that in mind, y'all. The next one, number 6 is personal growth. That's what I'm talking about here, professional development and personal growth as a coach. We have to realize that education for personal growth does not stop once we, of course, leave high school or leave college. Majority of the time, a lot of us did not even get the instruction or the information on how to actually live a damn life. All we get is, of course, instructions on how to go to school, how to be an employee. That's the information that we get. We don't get the information on how to have good relationships. We don't get the information on how to love ourselves and how to find our self-worth and how to, of course, respect ourselves and build our boundaries. We don't get that kind of information. Growing up in school, nobody teaches us that. We don't get information on how to, like I said, have the best relationships and sex and all this kind of stuff. We may get some, well, some of us may have gotten some financial information during college. Some of us, majority of us did not figure out how to budget until we actually got our first damn paychecks. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff that we're not taught growing up, not even in high school, not even in college. And that's that personal growth. We have to realize that at some point we want to, of course, figure out who we are. We want to live the best life that we can live. We cannot do that until we, of course, go within and figure out how we can grow personally in all the areas that you can grow, whether it's communication, whether it's self-discipline, whether it's self-motivation, any of those things. We have to figure out how to grow in those areas, y'all. And like I said, as a professional and personal development coach, that's what I'm here to, of course, teach y'all and work through y'all. Work through with y'all and to empower y'all to do. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, it does not stop because a lot of us did not even get this education growing up. We don't even know, some of us, what personal growth is. We think it's getting a job and going to get more money. That's not personal growth. Personal growth is figuring out who you are, all the things that make you up, your inner environment, the triggers that you have, the traumas and the dramas that you've been through, how you're going to heal from those things and forgive from those things. That's what personal growth is, y'all. Let me get some water, y'all. Like I said, at some point we have to realize this has to be an area that we have to focus on if you want everything else in your life to, of course, flow well. If you're not flowing well, you're angry, resentful, you're bitter, that kind of thing. How can anything at a job or in a business, in your finances, how can any of those things flow well? You're going to be stunted at some point because you can't get past yourself. I have been there. Of course, I was recently there. I had to figure out some things myself. I'm not exempt from this. Nobody is exempt from this. This is going to take place at every stage of our lives, y'all. I cannot say every single year, but it actually could be every single year. I don't know for a lot of us. But like I said, definitely, we have to realize that we have to figure out what our personal growth will be. And like I said, that's why I'm here as a professional development coach to assist y'all in that personal growth journey. So like I said, if you need help, you can't figure it out for yourself, contact a girl, let me know. Like I said, that's what I'm here for. The last one is spiritual growth. At some point, I understand, of course, because I was one who did not believe in God for many years. I understand that, but you don't have to believe in whatever God you want to believe in. That's up to you. You can believe in Buddha, whoever it is you want to believe in, the universe or whatever it is. But at some point, you have to realize that in order for you to grow in all areas of your life, somewhere you're going to have some spiritual growth. Somewhere you're going to have some spiritual development. I guess I put it that way. That's why I started off with that scripture, Proverbs. And that scripture again talked about where there is no vision, the people perish. But that keepeth the law, he happy is he. Like I said, at some point, some of these scriptures and that kind of thing, like I said, they can definitely guide our life as well. I'm not telling you to go read the Bible, whatever you believe in, the Quran, whatever it is. Like I said, just definitely make sure that you're connecting with whatever higher power that you know and that you believe in to, of course, get your life on track as far as your spiritual growth. And, of course, you could, of course, incorporate meditation into that. I'll talk about that at some other point. But like I said, definitely just make sure that you keep that in mind, that in order for all of us to, of course, be whole, at some point we're going to have to grow spiritually as well. So let me go over the areas that, of course, that I'm talking about today, the 7 areas that I'm hoping that you all are understanding and realizing that you have to create some type of vision in and some type of goals in order for you to, of course, have that success that you're wanting out of life, y'all. The first one, again, is career and business. Number 2, finances. Number 3, education. Number 4, relationships. Number 5, health and fitness. Number 6, personal growth. And number 7, spiritual growth. And like I said, at some point, we have to realize that, like I said, again, the success that you want in those areas, you have to actually do the work in those areas. It's not going to just happen because you said, I want to have a good life and I want to have millions of dollars and this kind of thing, when you haven't even tried to educate yourself on anything about career, business, anything along those lines to even create that type of income. Like I said, we have to get smarter about the things that we're doing as far as our vision goes and as far as the goals to create that vision goes. Like I said, those are the areas that I'm letting you all know to at least start with. I know there's other areas, there's 1,000 other areas. Of course, you can go ahead and just start at these 7. Again, career and business, finances, education, relationships, health and fitness, personal and spiritual growth. You can at least start there to start getting your life on track, y'all. Like I said, at some point, we have to realize that we have to. If not, you're going to stay in that autopilot, getting up every day, going to work, doing the same thing, coming home, cooking, doing the same thing you've been doing for 20, 30 years. I've been doing this for 24, 25 years. Like I said, at some point, we have to get out of the autopilot mode in order to figure out who we are and what we want out of life. Your job is not going to teach you that. Your education program is not going to teach you that. You have to be the professional to teach your own self that. That's why I'm here to, of course, like I said, as a professional development coach, to let y'all know that you have to teach yourself those things. And like I said, I was going to talk to y'all about some easy ways to just go ahead and get started. You don't have to do all these 7 areas, working on everything, education, personal development, all that kind of stuff right now today. You don't have to do all those 7 things at all, but at least choose one that you can start working on for this next upcoming week or 2. If you want to start in the arena of your finances, because your finances, you're behind on bills and you got all this stuff going on, but you have to create your own budget, start there then. For the next week, figure out the goals, figure out whatever vision you want. Your vision, for example, can be to, of course, to pay my bills every month and have some money left over to save, or have money left over to, of course, go on a trip with or do something for myself with, some self-care. You can create that as your vision, to have your money meet your month. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, to make sure that you have all your bills paid, but you have money left over to do something with, to invest, to save, to do some self-care with, to have fun with. If that's your goal, if that's your vision, you have to start setting the goals up under that. How are you going to do that? The first thing you're going to have to do is create, of course, a budget, some type of budget, to know the income that you're bringing in, and then, of course, what you're spending. You have to create some type of budget in order to have success in the finances area. If you want to, of course, have money left over after every paycheck, you have to create that budget for yourself, y'all. That's where you can start. Like I said, start with one thing. Figure out which one you want to start with. If it's finances, for example, like I just said, start with that. And then figure out what kind of goals you want to make as far as the finances. Like I said, to a goal to, of course, not spend your whole paycheck every time you get paid, or a goal to, of course, not overspend. I guess that is definitely a goal. That's a goal of mine as well. To make sure that I'm not overspending, and to make sure that I have money to, of course, do something with, invest, go out and have fun with, that kind of thing every time I have any type of income coming in. Like I said, that can definitely be your goal as well. And then, of course, like I said, you have to figure out all those small tasks. Like I said, you have to create your budget up under that goal of finances to figure out what kind of money you're bringing in, and then to figure out what you're spending every month. You have to figure those things out. You have to figure out where you can cut back at, whether you're cutting back on, I don't know, the fast food that you're buying, and just making everything at home that will save you some money, or stop buying the Starbucks or whatever coffee it is, or the smoothies in the morning. I'm sure that'll save you some money during the week as well, or buying lunch or that kind of thing. All those things can help you. I guess all those things can be small goals and tasks that you set up to help you have more money when you get paid, y'all. Hold on, y'all. And then, of course, making sure that you're following through on completing those goals. If your goal, again, is to cut back on buying Starbucks coffee every day, or and to not buy lunch during the week, then, of course, that's your goal. Then you can go ahead and, of course, start doing those things. Just make sure that you're being consistent and that you're being disciplined with those things. Not just saying you're going to do this and do that, but then you get to day number 4 and it's all over. You're buying Starbucks, you're going to buy food and all this kind of stuff going on. You have to stay consistent with your goals, y'all. If you don't stay consistent with your goals, you're never going to have any level of success in any area that you want. It's consistency and discipline. I say that a lot, but it's consistency and discipline. Make sure that y'all understand that. Then, of course, once you accomplish that goal, once you get through your first week and you got $30, $40, $50 left over after your paycheck, that kind of thing, then celebrate that. You don't have to go out and buy all this stuff to celebrate, but you can, of course, just make a post on social media if that's how you want to celebrate. But y'all, I'm proud of myself. I completed this goal. I did this. I have money at the end of my month. That kind of thing. You can go ahead and just celebrate yourself, or talk to your partner about it, talk to your friends about it, your family, that kind of thing, and just say that you're just proud of yourself. Or you can just bake yourself a little cake, or whatever it is you want to do to, of course, celebrate. But just make sure that you're celebrating those things, even if you're taking sticky notes and writing it on your, like, on that sticky note that I accomplished this today, and putting that like somewhere where you can actually see it. It's like your vision door, your vision board, that kind of thing, with the goals that you completed. Then go ahead and do that as well. You can celebrate any kind of way, but just make sure that you're celebrating. I don't care how small of a success it is. Just keep in mind that those small successes are what creates the bigger successes that we all want to see in our life, y'all. So like I said, with that, like I said, those are some easy ways that you can get started with trying to, of course, work on some of these areas, create the visions and the goals that you want for these areas. Like I said, it may sound like it's a lot, that kind of thing, but once you sit back and look at these areas of your life, your career, your finances, your relationships, your personal growth, spiritual growth, all these things, once you sit back and think about these things, they all make sense. Trust me. Just like you have seven subjects in school, these are the 7 subjects you're going to have in life as well. We have to look at it that way, y'all. And in school, you had to do the same thing. The teacher had goals that you had to accomplish. I guess like the homework that you had to do. You had to do all that homework. Once you completed the course, it was, oh, I'm happy it's done. I'm done with this homework and that kind of thing. It's the same thing in these areas of life as well. You have to, of course, like I said, make sure that it's in the top of your mind, and make sure that you understand that it's something that you have to focus on in order to have any type of success that you're wanting in life. So like I said, definitely, I want to thank y'all for being here on the success call. And I hope y'all are doing well. Thank you for those who joined, pop on, pop off, and that kind of thing as well. If there's any comments, I cannot see them because I'm using a different program than on my cell phone. So once I get off, and I'll check the messages and that kind of thing, reply to y'all as well. But like I said, definitely, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, the main thing here was just to let y'all know and to help you understand and realize that at some point, if you're wanting to get off of autopilot, you're working every day, you're doing your business every day, you're just doing the mundane things day in, day out, but you forgot yourself along the line, somewhere along those years, that you forgot who you were, forgot what you liked, forgot what you wanted to do with your life. Like I said, at some point, we have to understand that we can always get off autopilot. And like I said, I'm the autopilot coach, I guess I put it that way, to help you all, of course, stop being just going day in, day out, and to actually start living your life, the best life that you can live, considering whatever it is that you're wanting. Like I said, that's for all of us. It's not just for those you see out there who are making millions and successful. It's for those out there who are working like me and you that, of course, want to create something better out of our lives and not just live the same life over and over again every day. We want to, of course, get back to those hobbies that we liked. Like I said, definitely that's what I'm here for, to, of course, empower y'all to, of course, do those things. And like I said, again, I'm Tonetta Clay, your professional development coach. I'm here to, of course, assist you on your journey to, of course, like I said, get out of that autopilot, get out of that mode to, of course, figure out who you are, to do your own professional, personal development, to figure out who you are so that you can live the best life possible. So with that, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. This is, of course, the weekly success call. I hope that y'all are doing well. And like I said, I have some awesome, I guess some awesome things coming. I'll be letting y'all know very, very soon. I guess I say that. So definitely be on the lookout. Also, for anybody, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you, all these areas that I went over, the career, the education, the finances, the personal development, all those types of things, if you know that you need help in those areas but have no idea how to get started, and this wasn't enough for you, I guess I put it that way, make sure that you're reaching out to me, of course, so we can so we can start talking about whether we can work with each other as far as a personal coach and that kind of thing. So with that, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Again, I'm Tonetta Clay, your professional development coach. I want to say thank y'all for being here. Take care, y'all, and have a good rest of your day. And I'll see y'all in the next success coaching call. Keep in mind, they're every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, y'all. So take care, y'all. Have a great one.